All right, man, this trade deadline is not quitting. We got Jimmy to the Warriors. And while it seemed like Jimmy was going on a crusade to try to get to the Suns, he has immediately signed a 2-year extension with the Warriors, so I'm going to go by that he's okay with this. For Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, quite a season for Dennis Schroeder. Slow-mo and a protected first-round pick. I don't know the details of that as I'm doing this, but this seems to be the gist of the trade, and the rumors for the last about 24 hours have the Warriors, they were basically just calling everybody about everything, and, there was some stretch there of, well, could they actually get Kevin Durant? He doesn't want to go there. And so now they have Jimmy, and for me, look, Schroeder and Slow-mo, of course, they were playing in the Warriors rotation, but I'm going to look at this for the Warriors' sake as, will Jimmy be noticeably better for them than Wiggins? So, before Jimmy went on his I don't want to be here anymore thing, he was basically averaging 19, 5, and 5 on really good efficiency while still being the team defender, on-ball defender, guy who can switch across a few positions, the whole thing. Meanwhile, Wiggins has been, basically 17 a game on good efficiency. The Warriors have needed Wiggins on defense, and so the bet they are making here is that Jimmy can give them very similar to better than what Wiggins was giving them on defense, and then you're just praying for whatever Jimmy's still got left in the tank on offense, where, yeah, he can still be a physical, around-the-basket, foul drawer, scorer, attack off the catch, drive, attack switches, all that stuff. It's just, Miami fans know this because it happened for years where you're just going to get those regular season games where Jimmy has 13, 14 points, or it's halftime and he's got just a few shot attempts because, he's making all the right reads, making all the right passes. He'll screen on and off the ball as well. But sometimes you just need him to actually just go for it as a scorer, right? But with all that said, should a locked-in Jimmy Butler, even at this age, be better than Andrew Wiggins? For their sake, he better be. My bet would be yes. I understand it's a hot take to say anything nice about Jimmy Butler right now. Now, will that hold up for the entirety of this new contract he has? That I don't know. And also, will it be enough to really put this team in a different conversation? They're a game above 500 right now. And as we know with this Warriors offense, they're 20th in the league in offensive rating, and they had a recent stretch especially where there were a number of games where they either couldn't crack 100 points or just barely cracked 100 points. Hell, they had that game against Miami where Steph was great from three and the rest of the team couldn't make a three at all, and they had a tough time figuring out Miami's zone and everything. They are 18th in offensive rating in their last, 10 games here. So, I'm thinking about Jimmy with this team. Jimmy's a very smart player, okay? The Jimmy era is going to go down as a success, but damn it, if Jimmy did not attempt to torpedo a lot of good graces with Miami over the last month or so. Typically when Jimmy shows up in a new place, vibes are good for a while, unless I'm misremembering. Anyway, look, any type of pass that the Warriors are going to hope that Jimmy can make within their offensive Steph flowing off the ball and everything, I think Jimmy can do all that. I think Jimmy, again, he'll screen on and off the ball, totally fine. Any opportunity he gets to get downhill, whether it's off of a screen he makes or catching the ball on the move or whatever, he's going to do all that fine. But he's not a shooter. Sure, he is good enough to make you pay for playing off of him. There's always the potential of if defenses are daring Jimmy to beat them from outside, he can then get into a two-man game with Steph and, you can see if Steph has an opening around a screen or a handoff action or whatever. Jimmy's percentages from three are good. He just has an extremely low volume on them. No, this will be really interesting. A team that clearly needs help on offense around Steph, getting Jimmy, who is not a shooter in his own right, but certainly does a lot of other things well. The optimistic take is Jimmy's just talented and they need more talent. The negative take is, well, Wiggins was already pretty good, and between Jimmy, Kuminga, they're both trying to go in the same direction on offense. Draymond's three-point volume has perked up a bit this year, but it's still not a whole lot. But then you're also taking into account, his games played over the past few seasons, where it's not like Jimmy's missing a massive amount of time, but he's typically in the 50s and 60s in games played. As he continues to just get older with this old team. Steph, mid-30s, Draymond, mid-30s. They got younger guys around them, but you know what I mean. All the while, Wiggins is 29 and solid. He does have a hip injury currently. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of concern around that. Now let's go to Miami. So, when the Jimmy wanting to be traded news first dropped, I already did my whole, let's not forget all the good days. But again, Jimmy, he did not do himself any favors with just how he made it as obvious as possible that he wanted to go to the Suns. And yeah, that was my phone going off. More Shams tweets. So for Miami, they have acquired Wiggins, who is good, and is on a, I would say, fine contract for the next couple of years, assuming that he keeps up his scoring. The Heat are, once again, a top 10 defense. Granted, they are 10th in defensive rating right now, but yeah, Bam, Wiggins, Spo, and whatever crazy defense he wants to bust at any time, cool. Just found out Schroeder's going to the Jazz. I think, given what Jimmy's market is, mid-30s, some fears about his health, and everything that Jimmy did to, at the least, not help out his market over the past month. It feels like getting a good player in Wiggins who is under contract for a couple more seasons. In the heat of the moment, for me, that feels pretty good. If that's a stupid opinion, then okay, I don't know. I'm sure it's not the asset haul that's going to set you up for the next whatever seasons if you're Miami, but I also don't think anybody was really expecting that either. Also just found out that PJ Tucker is ending up back with the Heat, so okay, maybe Spo can revitalize PJ. I wouldn't really bet on it, but I mean, Spo was the last guy who realized that PJ could do more than just stand in the corner on offense, so I don't know. So we look at the Warriors starting five now, which, I mean, they've had some injuries lately. Like, Kuminga's been out, Draymond's been out. Actually, Draymond just played one game. I mean, Jimmy and Draymond on defense, those are two guys who can switch and be damn good help defenders. I know it's crap on Jimmy Butler hour because of his behavior over the past month, but you can't ignore that. But yeah, Steph, Draymond, Jimmy. I mean, in their most recent games, Quentin Post and Buddy Hield have been starting. Now, as I say that, like, I think it was the Thunder game where Looney played 20-something minutes and Post only played 8, but hey, if you get you a night where Quentin Post is going nuts from 3, there's something interesting there. I mean, I thought they were only going to get Vooch if they did anything, so I guess I'll be wrong there. Anyway, I took long enough to get to this. Is playoff Jimmy still in there? When he just ramps everything up. More shot attempts, more aggressiveness, more physical drives, more mismatch hunting, the whole thing. I mean, for their sake, he better be. Although, if anything, from the Warriors' perspective, if this just ensures that Steph is like, okay, I see you guys did something, I now will stay here no matter what, then the front office will view this as a success. But again, like, does Jimmy have that other gear that he's had for playoff runs that have traumatized me as a Celtics fan? I don't know, man. Anyway, cool stuff. This deadline, this is something, man.